Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Homestead-Miami Speedway here for the final round in the I2I Motorsports Truck Series Championship. Here it's season 2 of our championships here, and we're rounding up here tonight with the Toxic Waste Nightly here, presented by Toxic Waste at Homestead-Miami Speedway. 90 miles of racing action coming up for you tonight on Motormouth Broadcasting. Good to have you along for the show. Myself, Hugh Leary, and Wesley Atlan going to be taking you through the comms with Biggles behind the cameras of this broadcast here tonight. Good to be back alongside you, Wesley, for another round of this series, albeit the last round of this series. We already know who the champion is going to be, but nevertheless we return to given the time of the world when I started to watch NASCAR, it feels to me the traditional ending, the correct traditional ending. I know if you're a bit older than me, then maybe this is a bit new as well, but this is the traditional ending for me, and this is where we're ending the Truck Series this season.
I mean, if you want to go back to how old I am, and I can go back to telling you that I remember the championship races being at Atlanta Motor Speedway and the Hooters 500, or even for that matter, Riverside as the final race, or even let's go across country back in the early mid-90s for NASCAR preseason or NASCAR Thunder at Suzuka and Twin Ring Motegi. So yeah, I remember those types of races. I remember Homestead being the finale for a long time, and obviously it's great to see them back for the finale this year, but nonetheless, what a great track tonight for the I2I Truck Series Championship. You mentioned it when we came on the air. Braden Broadfoot has won the title. Congratulations to Braden Craycraft. Craycraft has done exactly what he's needed to do. Braden's got the most wins of anybody. Now all he has to do, Ewan, is go out there and focus, race, and have a phenomenal showing to end the season here at Homestead-Miami. Now, with that being said, I'm pretty sure, Ewan, there's going to be a lot of great talent in the field that are going to want to try to spoil the party to keep Craycraft from getting win number 6 and 4 wins in a row to close the year.
Yeah, indeed, it's quite a run he's on at the moment. If he were to win tonight, he would have gotten out of the season with 3/4 of the races won, which is quite a remarkable record. We'll see whether he can keep that up here tonight. Johnny Suggs and Chris Hone, by the way, are the other winners over the course of the 6 rounds so far, or 7 rounds so far, I should say. Just to clean up the standings as well, Craycraft has won the championship, because he's leading by 67 points coming into this final round. Even if we had a massive field, there isn't enough points in this race for him to lose that lead now. So Michael D'Adamo is in second place. Then the real battle begins, because we have got all the way down to 10th place, and Trey Grober just 24 points covering those 9 drivers. Ryan Simmons is only 1 point behind Michael D'Adamo. Johnny Suggs only 3 points behind. Tyler Miller rounds out the top 5 there on 182, 1 point in front of Daniel Wing. Then you've got Caleb Ross and Corey Coulthers. Chris Hone and Trey Grober round out the top 10. Trey was just telling us before we came to air here, he believes, and I think he's probably right, that he can't actually lose a top 10 in points. And if Jacob Miller isn't here, he is here, so maybe he can lose it, but it's very unlikely. And in any case, the top 10 should be sorted. It's really that battle for second, though, that is not sorted. And while I don't think Trey can actually go from 10th to 2nd, because I don't think there are quite enough points in this race, it's so close. I mean, there's 10 points separating 2nd to 6th at the moment, so that maybe is going to be a bit of our focus here tonight.
You're exactly right, Ewan. I mean, even though there's the battle for the championship that's an open book, shut case, and it's a done deal for Braden Craycraft, there still is amazing battles throughout the rest of the contingency for drivers to try to win the championship. And obviously, if you want to try to make an effort to make a push to try to be an upwards, climb in the standings, the last race of the season obviously is to do it, and you do it right now, right out of the gate, with qualifying on track as we speak.
Track temperature down there at the moment, 79 degrees Fahrenheit, 26 degrees Celsius. It may get cooler as we're already in the night time and going to be continuing on into the night time. Christopher Herr currently leads the session, but still has another lap to go here. Let's see what the time's going to be. It's going to have to be better, because Mikey McConaughey goes to the top, and it's no quicker from Christopher Herr this time round. Normally, we see the second laps of the 2 actually go quicker than what we see in the opening laps, but actually Her went faster first time round there. All of the top 6 are done as far as their 2 laps are concerned. Still plenty more to come though at the back of the field. Braden Craycraft hasn't even started his first lap, and Johnny Suggs and Michael D'Adamo are only on lap 1 here, so the big names are really still to come.
Nerds, really good candy back in the day. I remember eating them on the school bus when I was a little one. And there goes Lemons, the favorite candies of people. Sour candy on truck wraps. Johnny Suggs the third from Darlington. The lady in black home. The 15 machine settles his now way down into the corner. McConaughey, obviously her, Bogner, D'Adamo, and Miller currently your top 5 as they work down the back straightaway at a racetrack. Honestly, Ewan, you think about progressive banking, you think about progressive turns, you can see this really become an exciting race. It could become side by side, 2 wide could become 3, 4 wide in the blink of an eye. There's plenty of runoff room down the front and the back straightaway to have exciting side by side action. I think what a place to set things up for the finale here tonight.
Yeah, you mentioned the banking, 18 to 20 degrees, which is 3 times steeper than what it was when this track was first breaking ground in the 90s. It was only 6 degrees or so. It's a pretty flat 1.5 miles really, which is quite interesting, but they got rid of that pretty quickly, and now we've got the racetrack that we know here today. It's been the case for nearly a quarter of a century now, actually, the way it is right now, and I think it was probably a good change in the end. Braden Craycraft is going to be 4th then for his final race of the season, indeed everybody's final race of the season. Trey Grabber, Caleb Ross and Court Hampson are the 3 drivers, by the way, down the bottom of the standings, who are not actually going to set times, but nobody's going to get past Mikey McConaughey, first driver to go below a 32 or 33 rather in the session, and it's only McConaughey's 3rd race of the season. You know, so much I think of tonight for so many of these guys, especially if you've not been here for very many rounds. It's about gearing up for next season, which by the way starts 3 weeks tonight here at Daytona for the O'Reilly series. I've got to remind myself to call it now. It's so much about preparing for next season and getting off with that on the right foot as well in 3 weeks' time.
Analysis will be 60 laps tonight for the Toxic Waste Sour Candies 90 miles on 1.5 miles is 60 laps. Now, obviously, these drivers will have the opportunity to get tires, fuel. The strategy I was hearing during practice was, will we need to make a pit stop? Should we need to make a pit stop? Could we cut it to 1 pit stop? That's the gamble. We'll see what happens. It's obviously a field of 16 entries ready to send off the season. Are ready to go, Ewing, here at Homestead-Miami. It's go time to introduce the starting lineup.
Yeah, let's have a look at everybody from, including those who haven't qualified indeed. But Mikey McConaughey sets the best time. The only driver in the 32s gets ahead of Christopher Herr, who will share the front row in those trucks on the first row. Johnny Suggs, race winner once this season, will start 3rd ahead of Braden Craycraft, our champion in waiting, just waiting to make that absolutely official at the end of 90 miles tonight. Jaden Bogner and Michael D'Adamo are then on row 3. D'Adamo looking for 2nd in the championship here tonight, if it goes well, of course. Jake Miller will be another one of those looking for a top 10 in the standings. Not sure whether he's going to quite get there. Tyler Miller will be fighting for 2nd in the championship as well. Further down, rounding out the top 10, it's Ryan Simmons and then Chris Hone, who is in 10th position.
On row number 6, it's going to find Nathan Merrifield, there, Ewan, in the number 11 spot, followed by James Tate. There's that Nerds entry from Darlington in starting 12th. In row number 7, you're going to see Cody Johnson in the 47, followed by Logan Euchre in the green Skittles, sour Skittles, number 12 in 14th. Row number 8 on the grid, Braxton Merrifield, as well as Daniel Wing in the number 9. And the final row will find the drivers of Court Hansen and Trey Graber. There is the lineup as those drivers now, along with Graber on the back. Starting lineup joins Caleb Ross, 19 drivers. Some did not qualify, Ewan, rolling off of pit road. Preliminary laps underway here at Homestead-Miami for the final race for the season.
Yeah, glad to say that those 3 drivers who didn't qualify down the back end of the field have indeed rolled away from pit lane, so we will get all of them starting here tonight. One of them, Troy Grabber, as you mentioned, not particularly confident about his chances. In fact, he's gone back to pit lane straight away, so he will start from the pit lane after all. There are 60 laps on the books here tonight for the Toxic Waste 90. As you mentioned, 90 miles here from Homestead-Miami Speedway, just gently upping the mileage. Although last week at Pocono we did go for 100 miles, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe longer. No, we did. It was 100 miles
and 40 laps, if you remember.
Yep.
Pocono was 100 miles, 40 laps, and tonight is only 60 laps, 90 miles. So, yes, it's going to be fun, sir. Here we go. Final one of the season. Let's go.
Here we go from Homestead. 90 miles to the end of the season. And from the front, it's Mikey McConaughey to get the green flag in the air here from Homestead-Miami Speedway.
I'm looking correctly. Braden Craycraft starting all the way. Shotgun on the field. Green flag in the air. McConaughey, Suggs, Ogner, ready to go for it. They know it's the last race of the year, but they're not driving like that. Here on lap number 1, McConaughey leads them into turn number 3 at the lead.
Bogner around the outside of Suggs, able to get to second. Suggs drifts up high, very high. He's nearly in the wall up there. He's got to get a better line than that, a better hold on that outside line if he's going to run up next to the wall. There's the benefit though. He gets a good run onto the front stretch and he's into third by turn 1.
Solid run right now. It's a couple of teammates now battling door to door. Jaden Ogner now looking at an opportunity up 4 spots to the lead. He is there. The Sour Lemons entry. Johnny Suggs now up to third. That's how to the follow. Look at the progressive banking, using every inch of it in the early going at Homestead off turn 4. Oh, Bogner in the wall. Bogner slams the wall. Jaden Bogner now losing ground, falling within the realm of the pack. And McConaughey gets back to the lead. But no caution there, Ewan, in turn 1.
Just snapped away from him there. Absolutely snapped away from him, just as it looked like he was holding on to it nicely for a race lead off of lap 2. He gets into the wall. It doesn't look to have affected him too badly in terms of damage, but he is down to 9th. There goes Hurd, ducking to the inside here on Johnny Suggs, who's up to second place. But look at the lead it's given Mikey McConaughey. Can he now maybe use that to run away from the rest of the field, or is Johnny Suggs and the rest of them going to chase them down here?
Amazing what we just witnessed, and somehow Bogner at one time climbing into the battle with teammate McConaughey. Now losing ground. He now falls all the way back to 8th. No harm, no foul, though, as everybody now shuck and jives their way under the lights of the palm trees at Homestead with McConaughey, Suggs, Herr, Simmons, Diademo, top 5 as they come storming at you out of turn 4.
And again, Suggs under pressure from Herbert, tucks back in once again. Simmons and Diademo running closer. Look at the whole field running close here. Remarkable. The top 16 at least are doing so. Braxton Merrifield, Daniel Wingen, Trey Grabber are all off the back at the moment, but they're all still on the lead lap. Look at this onboard shot here. You can just see up in front of us as we ride on board with Caleb Ross here, who's, oh no, trouble, just in front as the 47 truck of Cody Johnson goes into a spin. He's down below the apron though, so we stay green.
Johnson with a problem. He's below the apron, below that line, as you mentioned, Ewan, and for that reason, we will not see the Banana Republic flag be displayed over the field from Barney. If you don't know that color, it's yellow. Nonetheless, 5 laps in, McConaughey continues to lead. There goes Bogner trying to pick up the pieces, if you will, after a quote from the 70s band AWB, try to get back in this battle to get back in the top 5 as they work in 3.
Look at them scraping the wall or getting close to it on the way towards turn 3. Just trying to open out this corner as much as possible. That's a nice turn from Nathan Merrifield, who is not quite going to get alongside the 44 truck in front. That is Jaden Bogner, whose number in the timing is not going to be the same as it is in real life. Just something we'll just have to deal with over the course of the day. Up high though, very high there from Tyler Miller, and he's going to get passed by Michael Danamo, who's back to 5th again, but seems to be struggling to hold on to that top 5 position, does the driver, currently 2nd place in points.
Great racing, honestly. I can't believe what we're seeing right now, Ewan. Some The thrills and spills and even a little chills for some guys. But right now, everybody still stays on the straight, narrow line. On to turn number 1. They ton of funnel back out into the corner. Right now, McConaughey, and look at this battle now. Up top, truck bouncing off the wall. Hold on, baby. Merrifield, Diadamo having a scare. Open the door. Here comes the champion. Braden Craycraft says, excuse me, coming through. He'll get up front of the tailgate of him and dive into 3.
Yeah, the champion in waiting is waiting for a 7th place finish here as he gets up to the inside, and he's going to get alongside Miller as well, who goes wide up there through turn 3, and side-to-side contact with Merrifield as well. So it's not quite done yet on the inside. Craycraft has made good progress so far, as we've seen. He's now, what is it? Well, it's hard to tell where he actually started from, but I think nearly 10 places now, and he's still side-to-side with Merrifield as I speak, but the problem for him is that as he gets further up the field, the overtakes become more difficult to come by.
All the while, we are seeing now already 10 laps when they come back to the line. There's the biggest movers of the race, by the way. If you're looking on the screen, there it pops up again. Up 7 spots. Court Hansen, he's in 10th. 6th positions in 13th. Caleb Ross, all these guys right now making high climbs in double digits as we close in on lap number 10 and 50 to go next time by here for the finale at Homestead, Ewan.
Absolutely, we've got off to a great green flag run to begin with 10 laps complete. Absolutely fantastic racing at, it is a great racetrack, isn't it, here at Homestead? Absolutely fantastic. And a great place to have the finale again. Diadamo and Hansen side by side over the line here. That's Diadamo trying to see off Hansen in towards turn 1 and does so. Switches to the low side and Court Hansen misses his line there and goes straight up into the wall. So Diadamo will get a bit of a reprieve. I'm trying to work out what suite he's riding with at the moment, Diadamo, but I can't quite picture it at the moment. But it's quite a nice livery and nice and colourful for us anyway.
Yeah, doing exactly what he needs to do, obviously, as we watch Craycraft down on the inside. There's that machine up there up on the top. All this going on as they work now. Craycraft pulling up right there in front of the other drivers of Merrifield, Diadamo, and Hansen, all right now losing ground on that. And the man that started in the back, the champion, is showing why the Motor Mouth Broadcasting number 3 wants to not only win the battle, but win the war with still 50 to go now down the back straightaway. Now he's going after another spot. He's after Miller. He's down to the inside of Miller for that spot in 3.
Yeah, he showed last week that it might be perhaps a good look charm having the Motor Mouth Broadcasting logos all over the place, and Craycraft is doing it again, although he's sliding off of 4. Oh, it's a catch there as he gets loose off of 4, and now he comes back on just in front of Diadamo. Just some of that work, he's worked so hard to get up to 6th place there, it's been undone as now Merrifield misses his line. He goes up into the wall and Craycraft will get that place back. Diadamo follows as well. It's a place where you can so easily make errors, and we've seen a couple of them already in the opening quarter of this race.
Absolutely, somehow, some way they continue to now reset. Look at them going again now. Look at Braden Craycraft, and he is really in trouble, way off the pace. He just got passed by 5 machines. In the words of Paul Simon, the champion, slip sliding away in the finale at Homestead back into turn number 1.
Craycraft there with a couple of bad turns is all the way back to 12, almost back to where he started. This group goes from 6th place on back, and it's quite extraordinary the racing we're seeing in this group. Further up front there's less going on, but Bogner has just got past Simmons. He's trying to regain places as well after he slid around a bit earlier on, if you remember. Simmons on the outside line is trying to take 2nd place in points away from Michael Diadamo, and with this pass he would do, although he's up high here, very high, almost hit the wall, may have even just scraped it, but he can't get past Bogner, or rather Bogner can get past him, I should say, for 4th place, and that demotes Ryan Simmons to 5th. But they're a long way ahead of that group, headed by Michael Diadamo behind.
Top 10 for the time being. Mikey McConaughey from the pole. His Toyota leads the way. Couple of Chevrolets with Johnny Suggs the third and Christopher Hare up in second and third. Toyota, Jaden Bogner recapping after he bounced off the wall. He's back in the top five again, along with the Chevrolet of Ryan Simmons. Then it's Michael D'Adamo in a Chevrolet 6. 3 Fords in 7th, 8th, and 9th of Cord Hansen, Nathan Merrifield, and Caleb Ross. Chris Hone now in the top 10 in the Chevrolet, as we got to keep an eye on Tyler Miller. Something happened to Miller. He fell back, and now we got another battle going on for third, second going on in turn 4.
That's all happening at the moment. McConaughey is leading this race comfortably through 17 laps here at Homestead-Miami Speedway tonight. Just over a second in the lead, or rather 16 laps I should say, complete. But this is the group where all the excitement is. Craycraft finally gets back into the top 10 again. Oh, careful. Oh no, just as he gets into the top 10, he's in the fence again. And he loses the top 10 again. Chris Hone gets past. And in the background, Miller is coming up again as well. Well, this is just remarkable, isn't it? Every time someone makes them a place, the next corner, they're in the fence and they're losing places again.
No doubt, they surely are again, my friend, as we watch them now working back around the racetrack. Just a moment ago, I mentioned Braden Craycraft losing ground, and so did Tyler Miller. He's now on the defensive. Craycraft now on his inside door as they go back into turn 2.
First time in a while, single file most of the way down on the way down the back straights this time, but that's to be fair for the leaders. Further down, still side by side, Ross and Merrifield, I think this is it. Merrifield on the high side. Caleb Ross, the one coming through now. He is up 11 places now since this restart. He didn't set a time in qualifying, but he's now into 8th position, and Chris Hone uses him perfectly there to follow through as he gets past the 25 of Merrifield. Here comes Chris Hone, trying to do exactly the same. And, well, he's going to find it a bit more difficult by the looks of things, but what great progress Caleb Ross has been making in these first 20 laps.
No doubt about it, as we continue to see these drivers again working their way back down the back straightaway. Look at now the 14. Good solid run for Chris Hone. He's now trying to get into the top 10. He's done that, trying to hold off now Craycraft, the champion, Tyler Miller. Hone now getting around Merrifield for that spot as he's on the inside coming out of 4. By the way, 20 laps completed, 1/3 of the way in this race at Homestead.
Oh, in the fence again, in the fence, Merrifield out very high, very, very high and down the fence again. The amount of scrapes the wall has on is remarkable, and it's been created by this race so far. Here comes Hansen again on D'Adamo for 6th position, and this will cost D'Adamo 2nd place in the point standings if it carries on at the moment, with Ryan Simmons and Johnny Suggs currently tied on points. I'm not entirely sure what would happen to them in that case. I think Suggs would probably take the position, but it's very, very close between these three for 2nd place in points, although as I say that, Suggs is attacked by Bogner and loses that position. It indeed goes side by side. Not sure how much they'll be factoring into their thinking, but 2nd place in the season is on the line here tonight.
Shows me away just how competitive these guys are, no doubt being, as here comes now another battle heating up again. That is the battle there for the lead. A second correction, 3rd, Johnny Suggs the 3rd, Jaden Bogner. They're fighting to get to the podium spot. There goes the Sour Lemons machine way up high, up against the safer barrier in a shower of sparks as he fights the truck sideways out of turn number 2, and he stays in the gas.
Well, that is only going to be going one way, that 3rd position now, and it's to Jaden Bogner, who is back to 3rd again after being up there earlier. Finally taking him almost a 1/3 of the race, but he's back into 3rd again at least now. There is Suggs' progression throughout the day. Just see him turning off a little bit in these last couple of moments as this race continues to go on. This long run continues. D'Adamo now goes behind Hansen, so he drops behind Simmons in the point standings. Ryan Simmons is now 2nd in these point standings. It's changing with almost every lap here as we approach half distance in the Toxic Waste 90. Michael D'Adamo struggling to get the power on out of turn 2. We said these tyres might struggle after 25 laps or so. Well, we're over a second off, nearly a 1.5 seconds off of these guys' best lap times, and we're seeing with our own eyes now just how worn down these tyres are.
We're seeing them dirt tracking, if you will, pardon the pun, somehow trying to save these machines from bouncing off the wall. And honestly, Ewan, if you do get loose and you do bounce off of the safer barrier, not only are you wearing and tearing your tires quicker, you're causing damage to your truck. nonetheless, there's the Nerds machine, the number 71 machine up now, working into the top 12. That's Tate's machine, Craycraft free falling. So is the other machine of Tyler Miller. While that goes on, here comes now Chris Hone making a move. He gets around Caleb Ross. He's going after these guys as we close in on the halfway mark in less than 5 laps actually.
Yep, 5 laps. Oh no, in the fence again. Caleb Ross this time. Danamo as well, I think. He followed Danamo, yeah. So Chris Hone is going to get through on the inside line, is he? And yeah, there he goes. 7th place for Chris Hone now. And Michael Danamo's just the same as I think is happening here to some of the others. Basically, there's more than one, but I think Danamo's starting to struggle with the longer run right now as well. And he's really wishing these laps away and wishing for lap 30. But do these guys actually want to make a green flag pit stop? Because it will put them a lap down. Do they want to risk being laps down and risk being caught by a caution?
Yeah, for sure. As now we see what this driver, Michael D'Adamo, by the way, a former champion now, sitting in the number 2 position last week when the checker fell at Pocono. All the while right now, D'Adamo currently just patiently working his way to try to keep off the wall. And no doubt, Ewan, as we approach halfway here in the Toxic Waste Sour Candy 90 finale at Homestead-Miami, you're still on board with the Del Mar, New York driver, D'Adamo. And I got to wonder, and not just him, but other drivers too, you hit the wall, you really wear your truck out. I wonder if these guys are praying for a caution. They just don't want to be the caution. Or are they going to come to pit road?
He's looking time and again, isn't he? Like he wants to, and here he goes. He's been looking for the last couple of laps like he's wanted to come down, and he's got to be careful here. He's on the apron, and now he's sort of half on it, and now he's going to be coming down. It's quite a hard pit lane as well to get onto. Got to be careful. And now Michael Danamo is into pit lane, and Miller follows as well. So we could see a lot of pit stops now, because normally as soon as one domino falls, the rest of them follow in the next couple of laps.
Jake Miller, Braxton at Merrifield. Here comes those drivers coming down to the pit lane. You're on board with Jaden Bogner, and it's right before halfway. Got to be wondering, undercut. Ewan, are they going for that on McConaughey, the leader, to try to take an advantage to be there at the end of the race here tonight?
It's interesting with McConaughey, because just in these last couple of laps he's started to lose time to them. So I wonder, actually, normally I'd suggest the leader should stay out for as long as possible, but actually might suggest that the leader comes in now, because he's starting to lose some of his lead, and quite quickly too. Look at the fastest 5 and the 5-lap average there. Jaden Bogner is best in the field, and Her is 3rd. Braden Craycraft still too far away to really be effective, although he is on that list. Her and Bogner are 2 of the top 3 in the fastest 5, and McConaughey, I think, has got to seriously consider pitting from the lead here.
And we're continuing to watch all of this going on as, again, Braden Craycraft, the all-time winner of I2I, the champion, obviously now climbing back into the top 10. There he's got Jaden Bogner trying to battle with that 28 machine going after him on the racetrack. What great racing we're seeing as we are closing in on halfway. That's Bogner, that's Her. They're battling for second, and here comes more trouble. Coming on the pit road, Bogner and McConaughey on pit road at the same time. Along behind them is the 15 of Hone.
That was really close for McConaughey as he drifted. Oh, and he missed it. Somebody's missed it. Is that Merrifield who's missed it? Nathan Merrifield's missed it in the 25 truck. He's got to be careful driving backwards. He might get disqualified. He's going to be okay. He probably should have carried on, to be honest. It would have cost him less time. But anyway, he's in now. He's behind even Logan Yucca now, and that might even put him a lap down. Here comes Her. He waits another lap, but here he comes into pit lane. So stops are happening all over the place now. Who's going to get out first, though? Is it going to be McConaughey or Bogner? It is going to be McConaughey. The former race leader retains, I think, the race lead here with that pit stop, although Bogner is right behind him as they come out of the pit lane with 29 laps to go.
The question we asked ourselves was, could they go the distance? Could they run the full race when they were going to come to the pit lane? Could they save tires? Could they just go for fuel only to go to the finish? And obviously now we know the answer. The answer is no, except right now for Cord Hansen, Chris Hone, they're going to be coming out of the pit lane. It's now Christopher Herr, Ryan Simmons, James Tate. They now are entering or exiting on pit road from boxing, and all the while, under 30 to go, 45 miles remaining in the season, and all the while, another driver getting a chance to lead laps here. That's Hansen leading as they go to the back straightaway there.
Yeah, so Court Hansen's up 16 places after not qualifying earlier on tonight. That is a great story. Look at that biggest moving forward, although Trey Graber's gained a lot as well, because I don't think he's stopped yet either. Well, it's showing as he stopped, but of course he started from pit lane, so that doesn't count. He will be in pit lane properly in a few moments' time, you would imagine. Let's wait and see. Of those losers in the pit lane, Caleb Ross had to serve a penalty, so he's a couple of laps down. Cody Johnson made an early stop and has been a lap or so down for quite some time. But there's the information as far as who's pitted and when. 4 tyres for everybody. That's no surprise, really, is it, that everybody needs 4 tyres here? Because after 30 laps, the tyres they had were looking very, very worn down.
You saw what happened to Court Hansen, the Ford Racing Pinstripes number 72 machine. Look at what happened where he just bounced off the wall. Now he's going to have to come to the pit lane any moment. Chris Hone, as I mentioned, from second. Hone is on the pit lane in his Chevrolet. Now we're waiting for 2 more trucks, now down to 1. Court Hansen, he's going to have to pit, as already being bypassed as faster traffic down in turn number 3. That's the 15 of Johnny Suggs, the third, and Sparks trying to get around Hansen. Hansen might be coming to pit road in a lap or 2.
I'm not sure. I think that might just be netcode damage there for Suggs, although it did look spectacular for a while. That's a great entry from Hansen there. Very good entry. He looked like for a second he might hit the pit wall or indeed speed on pit lane, but he's actually gotten away with that quite nicely. That was quite good. He pits though from the lead, having spent a long time out there on those older tyres. 25 to go. Yes, he's going to have 5-lap fresher tyres at least than everybody else for the remainder of this race, but he's going to have to start that final stint from such a long way behind the leaders.
And now on pit road, guess what happens, my friends? Cycle them all back around, and the teammates of Mikey McConaughey and Jaden Bogner. Mikey from the pole here for the finale of season 2 of the I2I Motorsports Truck Championship here tonight at Homestead. More drivers now on pit road. Here comes Trey Graber onto the pit lane. Graber's in. He started 18th in the back. He's now currently 13th, and I think he might have just missed his pit stall too, Ewan.
Yeah, and that's just going to rub salt into the wound here at the end of the day, because it does cost you an awful lot of time to get these cars into reverse, or these trucks into reverse, and get actually into your box, which can be an absolute nightmare. So yeah, that could be very costly. Simmons versus her for 4th position meantime. Oh, he's in the fence, Ryan Simmons, again up high there as he tries to take 2nd place in the point standings tonight. Michael Dalamo seems to be pretty much out of the picture now. It might just be between Simmons and Johnny Suggs for this 2nd place in points, and at the moment they'd be tied on points. Simmons needs to finish directly behind Suggs by just 1 point if he's to stay in front, because I presume the countback is on race wins, of which Johnny Suggs has 1, and at the moment Simmons is not going to have 1 because he's currently 8 seconds off the race lead of Mikey McConaughey. Here he goes again though, looking for the position that would take him up a place in the point standings, on the outside now of Christopher Herr into 4th place.
Sometimes say in a lot of motorsports broadcasts that every position counts, whether you go high or low up the pylon. We know Braden Craycraft has won the battle, the war, if you will. Now the battle is the finale here at Homestead, and right now he sits in 6th. But as you mentioned, though, Ewan, there is so many spots in the point standings for the taking, like Michael D'Adamo. He could be bypassed by Ryan Simmons or Johnny Suggs. Any of these guys in the top 10 can shuffle up the pylon or go down, worse for wear. As laps wind down, we're closing in on 2/3 complete. 20 to go in a couple of circuits at Homestead so far. What a show to end the year.
Absolutely fantastic show, and isn't it just so exciting to watch long green flag racing as well? I mean, in the real world these days, for me, the biggest complaint I have is that we don't see enough long green flag racing like this. But you see pit stop strategy, you see green flag pit stops. We've already had that here tonight, and those will be the only ones, of course, that we see. But good that we've had them at the midway stage of this race. long green flag runs where a proper battle like this can develop, and you can properly work out what the driver in front is doing and what you need to do to get around them here. That's exactly what Ryan Simmons is doing with Christopher Herr right now. One driver trying to figure out how to attack the other, figuring out how to keep those attacks away, and Herr gets a better one off of 4 as Simmons gets loose, and he has a bit of a gap with 20 to go.
You and I agree with you wholeheartedly. I like green flag racing, but I don't want it to be nose to tail, boring snooze fest. I want it to be competitive. I want there to be excitement, and we have seen that tonight. The drivers of the I2I Motorsports Truck Championship finale here at Homestead has not disappointed. Every position, every point gained or lost is obviously going to tally what the season will end being, as you're back on board now with all these drivers. McConaughey, the leader, Wagner second. That's Ryan Simmons, by the way. He's got Suggs, Hare, and Simmons now in 5th. He started this race of 9th, and if you're looking at a progression of where he was, there is more green, maybe a drop down a little bit, but then he gets right back up to green again, and he's trying to have a high note to end the season for the 32.
He's going up high again, searching for a bit of speed here. He's got to be careful off of 4. He's getting a bit loose on the power there, and there is only one way you can fix that, and that's with your right foot. He's got it down a bit better that time round. Coming over the start-finish line, but he's nowhere near close enough to really be applying the pressure to her. And look at the different lines they're taking here at this racetrack as well. Such a dynamic racetrack between 18 and 20 degrees of banking in the turns here at Homestead since its reconfiguration in 2003. It's so wonderful to see the different lines being taken. There's nothing more exciting, I don't think, at 1.5 miles than seeing somebody run absolutely next to the wall, but equally as exciting, somebody running down low and making that work just as well. These two polar opposite ends of the racetrack, and they're still keeping the same speed pretty much here in this battle for 4th.
You know, Ewan, if a lot of people don't remember the history about the Homestead-Miami Speedway, as we're under 20 laps to go, when this track was originally built back in 1995, it was a flat rectangular oval that actually was the mini sister of Indianapolis. When the track was first diagrammed, it looked just like a mini rectangle, like the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the world obviously greatest race course in Indiana. But then people complained about it. They wanted change. They wanted progressive and precision banking. That's why the track had an overhaul in 1997, as you mentioned, to what it is now. And this is why we see the race that we see now as we're 3-1 again. Miller almost in the wall.
Goodness me. Oh, and he's going to lose. Oh, wow, loose as well off of turn 2 for Tyler Miller. He just about gathers it up, though, and leaves the other two to fight it out. Dadamo is on the inside. Meantime, we don't have, there we go, on the inside of Hansen. Sorry, it's Hone rather, not Dadamo. Hone on the inside there and getting through into 7th. Miller's just going to back off and back away because of that slide again in towards turn 1. It looked like they were meeting in the middle there briefly. Up next to the wall for the 72 of Hansen. Is that going to be good for him off of turn 2? I think it will be, as long as he gets the exit right. Here he comes down the backstretch. He's going to be clear almost into turn 3 here for 7th place.
And look at this awesome battle continuing to go on here. It is the 72 and the 14, Court Hansen, Chris Hone. Now remember, at one time, Ewan, they were up in the front. They were battling for the lead, for the win, but they had to come down to the pit lane. If you want to be honest, they have the freshest set of tires than anybody else on the racetrack. And now they battle it out here in the closing laps, closing in under 15 to go in the Toxic Waste Sour Candy 90 finale at Homestead-Miami, and they're on the back straightaway.
Court Hansen's worm, I'm going to call it a worm. It is a little bit up and down for the day because he had such a, look at him climbing through the field because of the long stint he had. Don't forget, he led a couple of laps earlier tonight and then had to pit. Oh, what are we going to call that other than a worm? I don't know. But anyway, he's been up and down all day. He's on the way back up now, though. You just wonder how many laps he's got to do this now, because 13 to go, 12 to go shortly. And, you know, he stayed out a long time. I'm afraid he's given himself quite a big gap to the rest of the field here, even though he does have newer tyres.
Solid run right now for that driver again. Court Hansen led some laps before the latter part of this race coming to an end, but all the while. There's, by the way, the last pit stop info that you just saw with Mike McConaughey being the top dog. He leads the race, and honestly, he's been the top man so far. He came down to the pit lane, and now the 9 is in trouble. That's the 9 of Daniel Wing. He now has an issue below the apron. It's below the track as he spins and dirt tracks it, if you will, coming out of turn number 2, drops onto the race apron road behind the return road, behind coming onto the blend line, and then he gets back in the gas. He's not in harm's way. No caution. We stay green there, Ewan.
And he's coming in now as well. Might as well, because those tyres will be ruined. I'm very surprised that was no caution, though, I must say, because the angle was quite steep there, and I thought that it would cause a caution, but I guess the apron kind of saved him there as he got the front splitter really stuck on the apron there. Craycraft is losing a lot of time now. Braden Craycraft might be in trouble. Oh, he's been in the wall somewhere. The reigning champion is not going to have a send-off day in the Truck Series tonight. His front left is absolutely ruined. He's been in the wall somewhere hard. And Braden Craycraft is going to have to make a repair under green flag conditions here. This is not the send-off that the champion in waiting was hoping for.
He's going to win the war, but he's not going to win the battle, and it's going to draw a caution as the 72 of Hansen's in the wall. Court Hansen. Now look at the champion, Braden Craycraft. I wonder if a tire equalized and he went nose first into the inside ARCA barrel on the back straightaway there, Ewan. Unbelievable.
There's that right foot again. Out of 2. Hard in the wall. Hard in the wall on the inside. That impact itself wasn't the caution causer. I don't know what was, though. I must admit, I don't see anybody having gone for a spin. Craycraft is limping around, by the way, with no engine at the moment because he's still on the lead. Oh, no, he's just about 1 lap down. But he's causing havoc behind because the others don't quite know whether to overtake him or not. The others at the front, meantime, McConaughey, Bogner and Suggs are both coming towards pit lane. There's 8 laps to go at the end of this one. Do they come in and pit? I'm going to say yes, because these tyres are not in good shape compared to what new ones will be, as Craycraft gets the free pass.
Yeah, free pass going for the driver of Braden Craycraft, and here they come. The answer is yes. They're coming down to the pit lane, and this is one of those tracks at Homestead, honestly, Ewing, where if you commit below the apron, you're coming in. You can't backtrack at the last minute because you might take out the sand barrels or the safer barrier there on pit road on the inside retaining wall. So here we go. These guys are ready to duke it out for the finish, and unbelievably, with under 10 laps to go here.
Does everybody get in the... yeah, they do get into the box cleanly enough. Does anyone take 2 maybe for this short restart? McConaughey won't, but you wouldn't if you were the leader. Now then, let's see if anybody rolls past him here. Late on, he's going to get off the jacks there and down and away, just in front of... oh, close! Just in front of Hone. Just in front of Chris Hone, who's taken 2 tyres here. Suggs took 4, but he's ahead of her now. And where on earth is Bogner? Oh, he's a mile back. Jaden Bogner is a mile back. And he's still... oh, no, he's out. Sorry, he's disappeared. He's disappeared from the server just for the moment. Let's hope he can get reconnected here, because he was in with a great chance on the outside. It would have been the outside of the front row on this restart. He's disappeared completely, though, and we may have lost him. The only 2-tyre call is from Chris Hone, who will line up on the outside of the front row for this restart.
Right now, as they'll set themselves up for the restart, it is now going to be McConaughey. He has been the Pied Piper, if you will, all night long. It's Mikey McConaughey on the front. He comes to the pit lane first. He'll exit first. He'll be in the lead. Then it's Chris Hone. Now, there's a look at the difference of the tires. 4 tires all the way around. As my friend Jacob Reeves says, 4 new Frenchies all around. 2 tires for Chris Hone. Everyone else is 4 tires like Suggs, Hare, Simmons, Hansen, Miller, Tate, Miller. That's Tyler and Jake Miller, by the way. And even Ewan, they had problems. They're right back in the saddle again. Anybody in the top 10 in that matter, I think they're in it to win it. And I think we can start to see more fireworks to send off the season at Homestead-Miami also, as Braden Craycraft, I don't know if he's got a fast repair or he took time on the clock. He is back in the game in that number 3 machine. The champion right now will restart in 14th, sir.
No, it is a faster pair indeed, and he's taken 4 tyres as well because there was no disadvantage indeed to doing so. There's Mikey McConaughey's day. He's been leading for almost all of this race. 49 laps led at the end of this one. There's only 5 laps he hasn't led, and that was throughout the green flag stops we saw earlier here at Homestead tonight. Courtney Hansen and Christopher Hurst sharing those amongst themselves. Who's going to lead the final laps of this season though? 6 to go here from Homestead, and we're back underway.
Back through the gearboxes, ready to see what goes on down to the stripe. They come to the line, and now 6 remaining. Down to the inside, McConaughey, he'll get the jump, the whole shot, the bump and run. Johnny Suggs, Darlington on the inside. Yellow Machine on the bottom, battling for the lead in turn 3.
3 wide behind us. Ryan Simmons tries to take Hone and Her at the same time on the inside line. Her is going to fire it in, but Simmons on the low side is going to get through. Meantime, McConaughey slides and crosses out of turn 4 into the front stretch. Long-time leader Mikey McConaughey drops to the back of the field here on a crucial restart with 5 to go.
There's the caution. Yellow flag is out again. Under 5 to go here at Homestead. Mikey McConaughey, trouble battling for the lead, for the win out of turn 4. Ewan, you saw it happen coming to the line.
Yeah, it's just getting on the power again, and he's towed indeed. So just on the power, he tries to save it, but he's going to get in the wall, and he knew it from a long way out. He comes back on the racetrack, slides and spins again, and causes the caution, the second of tonight. And he's furious with himself because normally you see a driver try and persevere, but a driver who's led so many laps here tonight and has come out in such a frustrating way, a solo error really, and he's absolutely livid with himself, and I think that is the end of his day.
You got to give props to Johnny Suggs the third. He really pressured him on the restart, got down to the inside, and really gave a fit to McConaughey. And when he done it, the guys got kind of a little bit loose. He dirt tracked it coming off of turn 4, lost the momentum. And now remember, even though he's got new tires, right, Ewan? They got to take a lap or 2 or more to get warmed up and get to their great speed that they're wanting. So obviously, cold tires just happened to cause McConaughey spin just a moment ago on that restart coming out of 4.
Yeah, that's definitely true as well, definitely. And it would have been so different to the previous laps in this race, let's not forget, because yes, they've had a green flag pit stop, but the other 50 laps in this race were run completely under green. We did the first 3/4 of this race and more under green flag conditions. So it's such a change of pace, isn't it, to go from that long green flag run to a really short dash at the end. But the drivers who can deal with that change are going to be the ones that win tonight, because we're into overtime already here. This is 3 to go. We're not going to go green next time with 2 to go. So we're going to have to extend this race by at least 1 lap to get a 2-lap overtime finish effectively here from Homestead tonight.
Set up your top 10 now as we get ready for a restart. As Ewan mentioned, obviously Johnny Suggs the third is your leader, Ryan Simmons second, Christopher Herr and Chris Hone all in Chevrolets in the top 5, Tyler Miller back in 5th, then it's Court Hansen in 6th, up 11 spot back into the top 10, Logan Euchre in 12, are in the 12 and 7th, Nathan Merrifield. Then it's James Tate, the Canadian, Michael D'Adamo, right now your top 10. Champion Braden Craycraft is back in 11th. Does he got enough time, do you think, if you will, Ewan, with, 2 to go, 3 to go? I think we're going to have an overtime finish here coming up. And does he still got enough time being back to try to climb to the front for the champion to win the battle and the war for Season 2 of the I2I Motorsports Truck Series?
I think he's too far back for this race, to be honest. I would narrow it down to the top 3, Suggs, Simmons and Herr, to be honest. The reason I would normally mention the first 2 rows, but the reason I don't mention Chris Hone is because he's got 2 tyres on board only from that previous pit stop. No point coming in and changing that now for the same reason that Craycraft has got. He's way too far back. And anyone who would stop during that stop there, that caution there would also be too far back. But for me, it's about the top 3 here, and a chance for somebody new to win the race here. Johnny Suggs has got a win so far this season, so has Chris Hone, but can the likes of Ryan Simmons maybe, or even Christopher Herr, take a first race win of the season?
ready to settle it here as the field will now have the lights off on the iRacing safety truck. By the way, Ewan mentioned it. We'll mention it again on, of course, Motormouth Broadcasting, the new season for the I2I O'Reilly series, formerly Xfinity. The I2I O'Reilly series will be firing up February the 28th at Daytona, right in Florida, up north from here at Homestead. As right now, here comes the field, Ewing, ready to come back to green. It's overtime. 2 to go to decide the finale for the last race of the year here at Homestead-Miami Speedway.
Green flag back in the air here from Homestead, and it is Johnny Suggs from the front getting a great launch. Simmons gets a decent launch from the front row too. It's the second row that's gone really nowhere here, and the rest of the field all packed up behind. Suggs to the high side, Simmons to the low side as they try and chase Johnny Suggs, trying to get their first race win of the season. Suggs looking to close out his second here with the white flag coming up next.
A man from Darlington trying to drive Homestead like Darlington. And now there's contact. Suggs got tapped by Simmons. Really loose, pushed out of the line. The field flies by. Here they come. Last lap of the season. White flag in the air. Ewan, bring us home for the final time at Homestead tonight, my friend.
The season, this race is now official, and Simmons with that bump and run through 3 and 4 has got a chance to take his first win of the season, and with it the second place in points as well. But here comes Christopher Herr looking for his first win too. They dive it low side through 3 and 4. Herr can't quite get to the rear bumper, and Simmons is going to come off of turn 4 to win here at Homestead-Miami Speedway in the finale in the I2I Motorsports Truck Series tonight. Craycraft crashes through the final corner indeed. He's going to be crowned champion of this season at the very end in the 3 truck. He finishes 11th tonight, one of his worst finishes of the season, in fact, coming right at the very end. But it's Ryan Simmons who wins for the first time this season, and with it he takes the second place in the point standings. Runner-up in the end to Braden Craycraft, with Michael D'Adamo and Johnny Suggs ending up behind him in the point standings. It's that bump and run through 3 and 4 with 2 to go that wins Ryan Simmons the race at Homestead.
Sour lemons for Mr. Johnny Suggs III from Darlington. He tried to ride up against the outside safer barrier like you do at Darlington, as I was trying to say, and the moment came for Scooby-Doo. There is Scooby-Doo. Where are you? You're in victory lane for the final race of Homestead in the I2I Motorsports Truck Championship. Ryan Simmons now again will celebrate as finally a first-time winner to close the year here at Homestead-Miami when the checkered flag fell in the toxic waste sour candy 90 at Homestead that even had to be decided an extra lap in overtime. At the end of 61 laps there, Ewan, it is the man, Ryan Simmons, going to be talking to him in a moment to experience what it's like to be a winner with I2I.
Well, absolutely. He wins by just over 2 tenths in the end ahead of Christopher Herr, who couldn't quite get to the bumper there to get past on the last lap. Court Hansen ends up on the top 3, which is a great result for him. And Logan Hooker, who we didn't really speak of at all there in that race, ended up 4th somehow in front of Chris Hone, who rounded out the top 5 with that 2-tie call. Michael D'Adamo will finish 6th. He'll be 3rd place in points after tonight, with Nathan Merrifield in 7th place, Tyler Mayer, James Tate and Johnny Suggs down to 10th with that late restart. That's massively disappointing to him. Braden Craycraft finishes 11th here tonight with Caleb Ross and Trey Grover, the last ones on the lead lap. Cody Johnson and Braxton Merrifield were both off the lead lap towards the end, and down the back, not finishing particularly highly in the end and multiple laps down, Daniel Wing, Jake Miller, Mikey McConaughey and Jaden Bogner. McConaughey and Bogner were running 1 and 2 for quite some time in that race, and they end up down the bottom end of those results. That's just how I2I racing can go, and that's how Homestead racing indeed can go as well. Let's get immediate reaction though from Ryan Simmons, who's won here tonight from Homestead-Miami Speedway. Ryan, congratulations. You've led only 2 laps tonight, but you've led the most important one, which is the final one, of course. Tell us about that last restart there with 2 to go, and you passed on Johnny Suggs, and indeed the holding on from Christopher Herr there on the last lap as well.
Yeah, I didn't really think I was going to get it because I've been close a couple times. Not in this season, but in previous ones. But I got around them for the first time. Got my first win on the last day. that it's possible.
Oh, listen, Ryan, congratulations, man. Obviously, I know it took 14 attempts to finally break through in victory lane. You know, first career win in now 6 top 5s and 10 top 10s. What a solid way to end the year. What does it mean to be a winner in the I2I circuit? And what a way to build up momentum when the trucks come back for season 3.
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit of a confidence booster not being involved in a wreck this time. That eventually got me to the end. So it's definitely going to help me with momentum for whatever comes next for racing in the league.
Well, absolutely. Hope to see you in the O'Reilly Series over the coming months, Ryan. But for now, congratulations on your victory in the last race of the Truck Series tonight, and thanks for chatting to us at the end of the season too.
Thank you.
Thanks very much. Ryan Simmons there, winner tonight in the Truck Series from Homestead. Normally I would go just through the order, but I will go to Craycraft, just jumping around a little bit, just because he is our champion officially now. Braden, welcome in. Congratulations on officially sealing the title, I suppose, by actually completing the season now. But not your best race in terms of this season. You've had some good ones, to be fair, to go up against, which is not a bad thing. But tell us about your race tonight. You were up and down a little bit more than what we're normally used to seeing from you.
Yeah, I kind of forgot to change my steering ratio at the beginning of the race, so I was stuck at 16-1 instead of my usual 10-1. So I was driving a really loose truck for the entire race, and it just was not fun.
Craycraft, I got to ask you this, man. Obviously, congratulations on the champion, but even though you had a bad night tonight, is it okay because it obviously, you know, the bigger picture is winning the championship, or did you really want to come out on a high note and try to go for 4 in a row and get 6 wins to close out the season and obviously just be the dominator, if you will, for the year?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I wanted to win every race. 4 in a row would have been cool, but last night's practice, I gave myself an EOL. Tonight I gave myself an EOL. I was just kind of having fun with it because I knew it was already locked up, so I was just trying to push myself a little bit, see what I could do, pass people and stuff, just kind of enjoy it.
Well, congratulations again, Brian. I know we've chatted to you a lot throughout the season here in the Truck Series, but congratulations on having such a dominant season, 5 wins out of 8, and winning the championship by around 50 points, I think the gap will be by the end. And thanks for coming to chat to us after the races all throughout this season as well. Hope to see you in the O'Reilly Series coming up in a few weeks' time.
Yep, thank you guys.
Thanks very much. That's Braden Craycraft, our champion, finally, you could say officially now in the Truck Series, although many would say it was official last week, and they'd probably be right. Let's have a chat to Christopher Hirsch, shall we? The second place man from tonight at Homestead. Christopher, welcome in. Congrats on a second place run tonight in the Truck Series. One of the only guys actually at the finish tonight. You were up there also during the long green flag runs and at the short green flag runs towards the end. Not many drivers did both throughout tonight's race, but tell us about the last run first, as you were trying to get past Ryan Simmons, just couldn't quite get there in the end. Tell us about those last couple of laps.
Yeah, just didn't get a good jump on the last restart there and let him come down in front of me, and there was no catching him from there.
I'll tell you what, Christopher, what a battle for you and the other Chris, right? You and Chris Hone. That pit stop, that decision to come down to the pit lane, obviously, when a lot of the front runners did, but you kind of said, man, I've got to come down here too. Did that really change the scenario of how crazy the race finish was because of that? If you wouldn't have stayed, if you would have stayed on the racetrack and not pitted, do you feel like you could have had a shot to win the race, or was it key to get new tires to win this thing?
You know, I think I actually stayed out 1 lap extra than the 2 that were in front of me, and I think it actually hurt me. I should have stayed behind them and had them pace me into pit road. I think I lost too much speed getting on a pit road. I ended up cycling back out 5th and just couldn't really fight back. Luckily got around Johnny there towards the end, but if it wouldn't have been for that, there wouldn't have been any catching those leaders for me.
Well, congratulations on getting to second here tonight, Christopher, and thanks for coming to chat to us at the end of the final race in the Truck Series tonight.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Thanks very much. Christopher Hirsch, second place tonight from Homestead with Court Hansen in third place, also joining us now as well. Court, welcome in. Good to have you with us. 14 places gained here tonight is by far the most in this field. In fact, the next most was 10 gained by Logan just behind you. Tell us about those early stages of the race, because you were actually into 6th place, I believe, looking at the our graphic there, about 6th, 7th place before we even saw green flag pit stops actually happening, which obviously promoted you to the lead for a brief time in that race. Just tell us what it was like coming through the field so efficiently tonight at Homestead.
Yeah, I wanted to kind of stay out of the trouble. This is obviously my first race with the league, so I wanted to start at the back and just kind of see how it goes. And over the long run, I felt like I had a pretty good car. Kind of went through the field, and yeah, I got up there top 10, and everyone was pitting, so I wanted to try something different. Hit some pit stops. Didn't really work out for me, but a few restarts and ended up third place. So pretty proud of my ability there.
I was about to say, man, what a comeback for you, climbing 14 spots to finish in the third position, bouncing off the wall. Was there something there running up against the safer barrier? We saw you do it. We saw Hone do it. We saw the 15, obviously, of Johnny Suggs do it before the bump and run by Ryan Simmons getting his first career win tonight to end the season. Was there something up on the top shelf, and if you had to go back and do it again, would you be running the top of the racetrack to try to win the race?
I definitely felt like the top was better to maintain your tires on the longer run. I could make the bottom work for some passes, and it worked out most of the time. There's a few times where I think the longer the run goes, the bottom is just not the way to go. So I think the high side was definitely good long run and tire saving. I'm not sure what I could have done better there. If running the high line would have helped me if I did it the whole time or not. I think on the short run, the bottom was better, but then you're sacrificing some tires. So I'm not sure. Definitely something I'll have to look back on to before the next time we go to Homestead.
Well, absolutely. Hope to see you next time we're out there, and hope to see you in the O'Reilly Series coming up in a few weeks' time. But for now, Court, congratulations on a top 3 finish from tonight, and thanks for chatting to us at the end as well.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks very much. That's Court Hanson, third place here tonight from Homestead. And finally, as we round off every broadcast in this series, we'll have a chat to Trey Graber to end off this broadcast. Trey, welcome in. Good to have you with us. A finish in the end for you tonight, 13th on the lead lap, at the back of the the lead lap on that final green flag run of the day. Well, before we talk about the series and how it's gone, let's talk a little bit about your race. Eventually ending up, as I say, in 13th position, despite running towards the back for much of the first 2/3 of this race. You would say you managed to pick up some places at the very end there. How do you feel you went tonight? I know your expectations were low. Did you exceed your own expectations?
Yeah, for sure. I was trying to help a buddy out with his paint scheme, and we both gridded up, and we were both kind of like Braden was. We forgot to change our steering ratio, and I was like, you know what? I'll start from the pits. It's Homestead. If I go a lap down, I go a lap down through cycles of pit stop stuff. I should be good. So I actually went back to the pits after we gridded up and got onto the track and changed my steering ratio, which ended up being the best thing because once the green flag dropped, you couldn't make any changes to anything on that regard. So I was able to get that changed over and kind of stayed at the back a little bit and tried to save my tires. Because of that, I got extra fuel in the car. Whenever the flag dropped, they filled up my car even more. So I was able to run a little bit longer, but it just didn't work out to get on the lead lap early enough. But yeah, overall it was fun. Enjoyable race. Homestead's always a good race for us in this league. So I enjoyed coming here at the end of it and just closing the season out. The guys were really great today. I feel bad for the Jaden Bogner and Mikey McConaughey. They had a really good race going until that caution came out, and then Jaden's internet went out, and then had another caution, and Mikey ended up spinning out there and kind of ruined his race. So I feel bad for them because they were the class of the field this whole race until the very end. So yeah, just proud of the guys for keeping it mostly clean all race and a clean season overall. So
Trey, it's been an honor to join you for the last month, obviously, and hopefully our paths will cross again when I'm available with not having real broadcast obligations, working with Ewan and Jim and, and Dean and yourself. But can you give us a state of the union, if you will, of the I2I Motorsports Series? Your take real quickly of what the series saw this year, this season, and what's to come for the future, obviously, with Motormouth Broadcasting and the league in general.
Yeah, I'm looking at the graph of my position standing, and that's about how I went this year. When we started this truck series, we had really high expectations, some high hopes for something we had coming down the line next season, but it got to the peak, and we just weren't foundationally ready to do what we wanted to do, and it crumbled. So we fell off a cliff in mid-November, and the guys that stuck around kind of rallied around me and said, "Hey, we got this. Let's regroup, let's refocus, and take baby steps this time. Like, not jump so high on the dream board. Just take baby steps." So we're working towards that. We got a lot of great things coming up for I2I. We're doing the Xfinity series. I guess the O'Reilly series now. iRacing actually changed it with the last update. But we're going to do some recruitment racing next Thursday. So the next 2 Thursdays and Saturdays, we're going to do some recruitment racing under hosted sessions and try to bring in some new guys. We got a whole new Discord server and a whole new iRacing league set up for that, to bring people into there and allow them to race on Friday nights. So the recruiting series is going to be everything that we're going to do on Saturday, they're going to do on Friday night. Same car, same track, same setup, everything. And then if they do really well on that, we'll bring a couple guys over to Saturday nights just to fill out the field. So we're learning from our mistakes that we made in November and getting better, and just kind of seeing what we can do to make this league the best that we can make it. So I'm proud of the guys that are in here and sticking around, that are excited for the O'Reilly series coming up February 28th at Daytona. So we're on the up and up, that's for sure. So we're all excited.
Yeah, and as you say, we're on the way to Daytona as well. We're reiterating 3 weeks today, same time, same place. Well, same time, question mark. You were talking to me before. But anyway, for now, let's just say same time. It's definitely going to be on here, though, on Motormouth, and it will be live on the Saturday night, as always. Bookended by Daytona races starting February 28th, ending for the moment June 20th. A couple of weeks off in the schedule, but most weeks racing on Saturday nights. Anything else you'd like to add, Trey, before we let you go, about the O'Reilly series maybe coming up in a few weeks' time?
Yeah, so I brought this up last week. We were going to go to Red Bull and then another track. That other track is Auto Club, and then we were going to go to Watkins Glen. Talking to Wesley earlier, I'm going to bring it up to the guys here in a second, and I think we might be swapping out Watkins Glen for Portland. Portland's always put on a good show with racing, a lot of good iRacing races there, and the O'Reilly's Auto Parts Series actually goes there. So we might swap out Watkins Glen for Portland. We don't know yet. But yeah, exciting things coming up for the series. Exciting things coming up for the Xfinity series and the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, and we'll see how the next season goes.
All right, well, it's great to speak to you as always, Trey, after tonight's finale. Look forward to seeing you again in a few weeks' time to kick off the O'Reilly series, of course, at Daytona.
Sounds good. See you guys.
Thanks very much. Trey Grover, the admin, of course, of I2I Motorsports, running 13th place tonight from Homestead-Miami Speedway. Wesley, it's been great to end out the season with yourself, alongside yourself for the last couple of weeks. I've got to say, I did quite enjoy the Pocono round. It was another long race with green flag runs and so on, but that tonight had pretty much everything, with drama and late green flag runs, long green flag runs, but so much drama from this racetrack. I've forgotten just what a great finale racetrack it is, but it properly was tonight from Homestead.
Yeah, Homestead is an absolutely fun racetrack. What a place to send off for the finale. Congratulations, obviously, to Braden Craycraft winning the championship. What a year for him. Just couldn't reel it in for the finale, but there's nothing wrong with that. It's always exciting to have a first-time winner. Scooby-Doo did it. Ryan Simmons in 32. Where are you? You're in victory lane for I2I. And what a great, great send-off for what's to come at the end of the month whenever the O'Reilly Series fires up at the Virtual World Center of Racing. My plan, Ewan, is to be a part of that with you. And obviously, when I can, other Saturday nights, not committed to other things. Thank you to Jim Cunningham. Thank you to Dean Hopton. Obviously, Trey, always a privilege, pleasure working with y'all the last month. And man, what a phenomenal way to end things. And obviously, it's going to be cool to see what goes on in the next month for the new series.
It absolutely is. To reiterate, 28th of February will be the opening round of the new O'Reilly Series. Don't forget, that's in case you've not been keeping up, because I can barely do it. It's the new name for the Xfinity Series, so there you go. There's not much changed apart from the name there. It's the O'Reilly Series coming up on the 28th of February. We're starting off at Daytona, the traditional place to start off a season, and we'll be there on Motormouth Broadcasting on that Saturday night. So make sure you join us and tune in for that one. For now, though, that's it for the Truck Series here this season. It's Braden Craycraft who walks home with the title. Despite not having his best race from Homestead tonight, he is officially our champion now. And he'll be defending his crown, indeed, going into the O'Reilly Series, hopefully, in a few weeks' time. I've been Ewan O'Leary alongside Wesley Outland tonight with Pickles behind the cameras of this Motormouth broadcasting telecast here for you tonight from Homestead-Miami Speedway. We'll be back in 3 weeks for the start of the O'Reilly Series. Hope that you'll all join us then. For now, though, it's goodbye from Homestead and see you next season.